Oh boy, isn't it beautiful? Can't tell what exactly I'm talking about. Just have a look on the right hand side of my screen. So I've got a scoreboard there called randomizer. And this contraption right here is randomly picking between a number from 1 to 16 every second or so. A higher number lasts less than a lower number, also giving us weighting, which is really impactful because it helps us do a bunch of random stuff. So it's the core system and the first system I actually built out of redstone because I have just been learning on the job, and I gotta say I'm pretty proud of myself. It's become a core mechanic of course, my world, my hub here. So I realize it's been a little bit since I've actually talked or given an update on this map. So if you don't know what it is, this is my hub. It is a collection of different command block systems to augment and alter vanilla Minecraft. There are absolutely no data packs or mods. Everything in this tour is from command blocks. So it's pretty cool, if I say so myself. We'll come over here first off. So the other big thing is I've done my best to make it lag friendly. So we've got a whole bunch of toggleable systems. So curses, difficulty, season, mob multiplier, daily events, mob promotion, block effects, weapon effects, but FX this time, not actually an effect, if that makes sense. So I just want to turn a few of them on, and we can take a look at the tick lag, because that's a big thing. Ooh, that should be there. Because once we get a drop in ticks, that's when we notice actual lag and stuttering between the game. You can see a bit of frame rate issue right now, every now and then. But as long as the ticks are fine, I'm happy. If we open up Alt F3, we can see the FPS spike. But actually, no, I think it's the lighting from when I look at the redstone. The whole point of this hub is you don't play here. This hub just helps augment the world. So yeah, on the right-hand side, we've got 20 ticks per second. So despite all of my creations, all of my systems running, we are still able to play lag-free, aside from FPS. But again, I could just lower my chunk range, view distance, whatever it's called now. So I'm really proud of that, because we've added a ton of features to the game. And before we go through them, just a quick update. So as it stands, I actually wanted to get this map done around November, but it's gone away from me. Every time I add a system, I think about a new system I want to add. And actually, it's funny to think, because at the beginning of this, I just wanted to add 3 things to the game. I wanted to give mobs their own abilities, and then I wanted to create special weapons, and I wanted to create bosses. That was the only 3 things I wanted to do. And since then, it's grown into this giant monstrosity with all these just added things that just make vanilla better, from my perspective at least, and funner. It's going to be an experience to play once I'm actually done. So I'm saying that, when do I hope to get done by? Well, I would love to say in the new year, or before the new year, but a realistic estimate is probably the end of January at the earliest. Obviously, if I can get done quicker, that'd be great. But it's not a big deal if I don't. Obviously, I'm working at my own pace, and this is just a fun little side project. So, in terms of what's actually left to build, I've started adding... So I added weapon abilities. Now I decided I want to add a status effect system. And with the status effect system, I realized I'm doing everything to augment melee builds or melee, fighting styles. And I wanted to, go above that. So we added this quiver system, if you will, that allows us to shoot specialized arrows. So, of course, that made me then go, well, if I'm doing ranged and melee, I might as well do magic. So that's the system we're currently working on here. It's incomplete. I'm still figuring out how exactly I want to do it. So that's one system left to add. Other than that, we also have our loot boxes, which is one of the main reasons I built this randomizer. And then the third one that I need to get done, actually need to look at my notes. Okay, got it. Random elite mobs. So mobs with, special gear and special drops that the player needs to hunt, and we'll probably tie in the quiver system, because obviously you can't get dragon heads normally in Minecraft, so we'll make them a drop, so the player has to go find them, and then they can make their special items. So yeah, so there's 3 main things left for me to build. So that sounds pretty reasonable. It shouldn't take too long. But there's also one secret project, which I don't want to say too much about, because I think it's going to be my hardest endeavor yet. But at the same time, if I can make it work, it's going to be such a cool feature to the map, and it's really going to be the cherry on the top to this vanilla plus experience. So on that, why don't we look at a few things? So we'll head over here. These are all the multi-block structures I've added to the game. So we've got a way to generate eggs, a way to actually spawn mobs, although they added spawners to creative. So I'm curious if they're gonna put them in game. I don't know. We've got a rock crushing system, we have a ore crushing system, we have a better furnace. It goes on and on. In fact, this is kind of what got away from me, because once I started adding one structure, I was like, wow, what about this and this and this? And then we ended up with our wax coating system. So this is what allows us to actually add status effects to our weapon attacks. And boy, it's just been really fun. And to be honest, I enjoy the technical aspects a lot more than normal vanilla play. But at the same time, I can't wait to play this map. And if we look down here, even more features. We have our equivalent exchange system. So if you drop any stack of shulk, I think it is, named, it should be running. So for instance, if I were to name this cobblestone, I think it's either 1 or 64. Let's see. You can see particle effect. There we go. So it's 1 to 8. So every 1 shulk we drop that's named cobblestone, we're getting 8 cobblestone from our little equivalent exchange. I'm pretty sure it's just the center block. Yeah, and if they stack up, it shouldn't actually operate. So yeah, so we have our equivalent exchange system. We have all of our mob abilities, which I had set up nicely with eggs to show you which mob the abilities relate to. I accidentally deleted all my item frames using the kill command, so I've been slowly placing them back. But if you click on any of these, this is like an encyclopedia. So for instance, I'm going to assume this is Stray from the abilities. So a Stray can now use Snow Cover, Winter's Coffin, and True Aim. And all these abilities are switched on and off using our randomizer system, meaning that, you know, when you encounter a mob, just randomly, it's going to get something. You can even see our mob promotion has buffed our training dummy. This was just a simple one, but still a cool feature. So we can actually test out our weapons. I've also added villager improvements, so all villagers actually have a job now. They will make use of their block. So if we grab out, I don't know, the Fletcher table, a villager, we can lock him here and make him craft arrows for us. Oh, there we go. So stick. I think it's every 30 seconds, so it's a bit slow. But that way the player can't abuse it like I am trying to right now. So we'll come back. He should craft some arrows for us. What else do we have? Okay, of course we have our bosses. So our 12 bosses, they all drop different things. I'm pretty sure I separated their loot, which then ties into another thing. So we have advanced crafting, where you have to make this shard of power by taking an echo shard to all different locations. You have to throw it in lava. You have to strike it with lightning. You have to then give it X amount of experience, and then that allows you to craft our passive effects. So I've given the player feathers now. Come back, there should be arrows. I've given the player, I think, 11 different passive abilities they can unlock and use, and they range from things like double jumping and skywalk to just passively generating experience, being able to run faster, being able to actually dodge attacks through this defensive dash. So if I double tap, you can see I get resistance for a split second, and there's some particle effects to indicate that we're dodging an attack. And yeah, I've just had such a fun time adding all of this in, and hope you guys will enjoy it too, one day at least. What else do we have? Alright, we have our seasons. So we cycle through spring, winter, autumn, and summer, and they passively give different effects. I think spring, crops grow quicker because I'm affecting the it's random TPS, so the random tick interval rather than the normal, which is every 20 ticks a second. We also have teleporters, so if I set up an armor stand with, say, diamond, labeled return, I can teleport to it by dropping a diamond. We also have a hub teleport with our blue shiny rocks that you have to sacrifice to our Lord and Savior Etho. They teleport you back into the hub, so you can always come back here. There's just so many things that I've added, and it's just shocking to think that it's been almost a year in the making. Other than that, I do want to do one data pack, although it's going to be completely optional, and that is achievements, just to help streamline going through things. But I do have another way to handle teaching the player all of our different mechanics. These are also daily events, So every day you have a chance to trigger one of these 8 effects. So the day has to cycle through day and night. You can't just sleep away, so you have to stay for the majority of the night. So we've got Hearty Breakfast, Wizen, Conqueror, Energized, Fested, Wanderer, Treasure Hunt, Sickly. There's so many things here. And it's going to be really exciting to play. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh, there's a few barrier blocks hiding. I will have to clean up and obviously build our little hub into an actual hub rather than this giant monstrosity of command blocks. But yeah, so just, a quick update. 3 things left for me to build. 1 secret project I'm going to attempt, but if I can't get it to work, I can't get it to work. And I am hoping this time to get everything done by January, and then have the map out in the world for everyone to play if you're interested, to try for yourself. And it's going to be old school. You don't have to download anything for the map. All you have to do is jump into the map, and you're good to go. No mods, no data packs, nothing. All you need is this hub. And if you don't want to obviously have the same experience as everyone else, you can go ahead and click this helpful button, leave the hub. Click to spread out. You will be teleported away randomly. And I've set the distance pretty far on that one, so if you use that, I can almost guarantee that you're going to start somewhere completely different to someone else. And there's just so much more I could talk about too, because we have dynamic difficulty, sprinting. If you sprint X blocks, it's going to summon harder mobs. Damage taken, if you take X damage, it's going to summon harder mobs. Damage dealt, if you deal X amount of damage. And it just goes on and on. Even equipment, so depending on what you have equipped, if you have netherite, harder mobs are going to spawn. And there's just so many features for me to go through eventually. I can't wait. Anyway, hope you found this interesting, and wonder if you're excited like I am. See ya.